SMU said, we don't need the cash. We just want to play big-time ball. And so it's SMU to the ACC. It should be an interesting run for the Mustangs in their initial campaign in 2024. Welcome to the Voice of College Football, breaking down the game we all love each and every day with you. Best discussion, debate, and analysis. The ACC schedules released last week. We are diving through each and every one. Binge watch, check them all out. Let me know what you think. Consider this before we look at SMU's 2024 slate in the ACC. Utah and TCU, excellent football programs, but struggled. It took them a couple seasons to get acclimated to Power 5 football. Also, the four schools that entered the Big 12 last season, UCF, Houston, Cincinnati, and BYU, went a combined 8-28 against the Big 12, and some of those wins were against each other. They really struggled. Also, SMU against the Power 5. Now consider that the Mustangs, under Sonny Dykes, under Chad Morris before that, and certainly now under Rhett Lashley, coming in with an American Conference Championship in which they went 8-0 in conference play. A different program than what they were 10 years ago. But if you look at SMU's play and the results in the last 10 years, going back to 2011, against the Power 5, the Mustangs are 2-22. They will be better than that, but don't expect 11-3 this season out of SMU. Let's look at the schedule. They should have a win right out of the gate against HCU on August 31st. Then they jump into September with a Friday night game against BYU, coming off a 5-7 campaign. BYU leads the series 4-0, and these two teams tangled just a couple of years ago in the New Mexico Bowl, with the Cougars winning 24-23. Bye week and then a difficult stretch of 3 games. TCU, FSU, and Louisville on the road. Horned Frogs coming off 5-7, of course, after the national championship game appearance in 2022. These two teams play all the time. TCU leads the series 53-42-7, if I'm doing the math correct. They've played 105 times. TCU's won the last 2 meetings, but SMU has hung tough in the last several outings. FSU SMU play at Doak Campbell Stadium for the first meeting ever between the schools. SMU at Louisville. Cardinals coming off a 10-4 campaign, of course, and SMU won 2 matchups against Louisville back in 1983 and 84. Another bye week, and then this stretch drive is real comfy. October 19th at Stanford, the Cardinal 3-9 last year. And Stanford won the only meeting between these two schools way back in 1936. At Duke, yes, Blue Devils 8-5, really strong the year before, but that was the Mike Elko Duke team. This is Manny Diaz, Malik Murphy coming in at quarterback, a lot of promise, but the Blue Devils may take a step back this season. Duke won the 2 matchups against SMU in the only meetings in school history, 1952 and 56. SMU takes on Pitt. They went 3-9 last year. Lead the all-time series 3-2-1. They met in the 2012 Birmingham Bowl. SMU won at 28-6. And remember this game, the 1983 Cotton Bowl, in which SMU won, and they completed a season 11-0-1. Had some claims for a national championship with the Pony Express of Eric Dickerson and Craig James against Dan Marino. I remember it well. Bye week before the stretch drive of BC, Virginia on the road, and Cal. They have limited series history against these teams. They did just play Boston College in a bowl game at the conclusion of last season and lost to the Eagles 23-14. First meeting against Virginia, another 3-9 team, and then the date against Cal as SMU plays the Golden Bears to conclude the 24 regular season. They've only met once. That was back in 1957. So in this stretch drive of games after the first bye week, SMU is playing 3-9 teams and another 6-7 team in Cal. If they can get through the first stretch of the season, they should be able to notch some wins in October and November. The ACC took a light touch to SMU's inaugural season in the conference. No North Carolina State, no Miami, and no Clemson for the Mustangs to deal with. So just get to a bowl game. Manage the non-conference slate. BYU, TCU, got to split those games, and then win 3 games in conference play. SMU should be able to make it to a bowl. But again, expect the downturn just like the other group of 5 teams that we mentioned over the last 10 or 15 years that have entered Power 5 play. Will SMU succeed in the ACC long term or possibly in 2024? We'll take your comments down below right here at the Voice of College Football.